look at Angel. Look at Angel. There's no hate here from me. That is the best version of Angel Reese I think we've ever seen. Now, that's not saying a whole lot, because normally Angel Reese is running her mouth or missing layups.
Angel Reese just strutted her way down the Victoria's Secret runway wearing nothing but lingerie, and the internet is absolutely losing its mind. But the part no one is really talking about is how this isn't just another celebrity modeling moment, as it represents a complete 180 from everything Angel has ever claimed to stand for. Less than 2 years ago, she stood in front of cameras teary-eyed, telling the world she was being objectified and unfairly sexualized, painting herself as the victim of a toxic system that judged women for their looks instead of their skills. Yet, fast forward to today, she is literally walking in her underwear for millions of viewers proudly, publicly, and profitably. With an irony that isn't just obvious but is blinding. The text then prompts readers to comment on how long they think it will be before Reese is out of the WNBA, and it references past incidents where she stated she had been attacked, received death threats, and had been sexualized, while also showing contrasting celebratory moments of her being called Bad Mama and celebrating a national championship. The argument continues that this is not just a simple fashion show, as what Angel is doing fits into a bigger pattern that has been building for months about how she manipulates public narratives both when she cries foul and when she cashes in. And it claims that by the end of the story, it will be clear this moment is way bigger than a runway walk because it represents the mask slipping in real time. While some tweets celebrate her confidence and body positivity, and while it is acknowledged that confidence is great and that other players like Sophie Cunningham post similar content without issue because they are consistent, the core problem presented is that Angel Reese did stand on a podium claiming the world was sexualizing her, framed herself as a victim of the male gaze, and cried on camera about being seen as more of a model than a baller, only to then turn around and do exactly what she said hurt her, which is framed not as empowerment but as a calculated contradiction. The narrative challenges her by saying she cannot tell people not to sexualize her while walking in her underwear, asserting that this is not Burger King where you get to have it your way, which is presented as the exact reason this moment has people shaking their heads because you cannot have it both ways by spending months complaining about being objectified and then turning around to profit off the very thing you said was destroying your peace, which is labeled not as authenticity but as opportunism as people are catching on. This idea of not having it your way at Burger King is linked to her entire career trajectory, accusing her of trying to control every narrative by deciding when her sexuality is empowerment and when it is exploitation, so that when she is modeling lingerie it is body positivity, but when someone questions her on the court it becomes about the world-hating confident black women, which is called selective outrage packaged as feminism and textbook manipulation by playing the victim when convenient, and then pivoting to empowerment when the check's clear, even suggesting it is a step towards being an OnlyFans model. The Victoria's Secret deal is framed as being about money and visibility, big brand money and pop culture attention, rather than empowerment, with an underlying accusation that while she is cashing modeling checks, her basketball game has flatlined as she is not developing her fundamentals or working on her shaky jumper but is instead building an empire around social media buzz, drama, and her image rather than her stats, leading to a brutal online quote about going from basketball Barbie to OnlyFans Barbie. That is presented as harsh but potentially accurate given her priorities regarding viral interviews, brand shoots, and red carpet appearances which are described as all sizzle, no steak, with basketball just being the stage she uses to stay relevant enough to sell something else as she is chasing clout, not greatness, which is acknowledged as her right. The text then recalls her whining about feeling the WNBA was sexualizing her back in college during a post-game presser where she told everyone to stop sexualizing her, and the argument is that if she is going to monetize her sexuality, she should own it, and not cry about being sexualized while signing lingerie deals or build a brand on victimhood while leaning into the very tactics she condemned. Because the receipts are out there and will not go away. The specific phrase, "Stop sexualizing me," is highlighted as something that will haunt Angel Reese for the rest of her professional life, because every time she walks a lingerie runway, posts a thirst trap, or brands herself around feminine confidence, people will bring those words back up, which they should, because this is framed as an issue of consistency and integrity, not about shaming a woman for being confident, meaning if you profit off sexuality, you do not get to weaponize it as a shield. When things do not go your way or flip the narrative based on what is profitable that week, if you played the victim and then do something hypocritical, you will get called out for it. The comment is made that as long as she continues twerking, shaking her ass, and doing similar provocative things, people will call her out on it, especially because she played the victim prior. That infamous press conference is described as not just emotional honesty but also as branding and a calculated narrative move to build an emotional shield so that whenever she faces criticism, she can claim it as sexism, racism, or jealousy as a built-in defense mechanism. But the Victoria's Secret moment shattered that illusion, because you cannot claim you are being sexualized against your will while simultaneously marketing your sexuality for millions, which is not oppression but strategy. Finally, the story delves deeper into the WNBA's years of trying to market its stars and its struggle with mainstream attention, as it does not always know how to balance competition with image. So when Angel Reese came along as glam, confident, and unapologetically feminine with makeup, hair, nails, and photo shoots that made people outside basketball pay attention, it was in theory a good thing. But the problem is identified as the foundation being built on hypocrisy at a Victoria's Secret, followed by a derogatory statement about the appearance of other WNBA players.